Welcome to the Deep Dive, your shortcut to being genuinely well-informed, packed with surprising facts and just enough humor to keep you hooked. Today we're diving deep into a pantry staple we all know and love, but probably don't really know. Olive oil, it's in our kitchens, on our tables, and, well, for some, even in their beauty routines. But have you ever paused to think about its incredible journey from, a tiny fruit to that versatile liquid gold, or what it truly means for your health? We're going to pull back the curtain on this everyday miracle. So let's unpack this.
What's fascinating here is just how much depth there is to explore. I mean, beneath the surface of something so familiar. For this deep dive, we've brought together a truly diverse stack of sources. We've tapped into practical consumer advice and detailed production guides from places like Brightland, and also those rich discussions you find on Reddit. And that's sitting alongside rigorous scientific research. Think groundbreaking papers like extra virgin olive oil as nutritional therapeutic immunoenhancer, and the secrets of the Mediterranean diet. Does only olive oil matter? We'll also draw from real-world applications, for cooking and skincare, provided by the Mediterranean Dish and Medical News Today. And we'll round out our understanding with crucial market insights from the International Olive Council. Our mission today is really to cut through all the information overload, reveal some truly surprising facts, and offer you clear, practical insights. By the end of this deep dive, you'll be able to make truly informed choices about olive oil for your health, for your cooking, and yes, even for your skincare. You'll be well-informed, not overwhelmed.
That's exactly what we're aiming for. And when we talk about journeys, the story of how an olive becomes oil is far more intricate and, frankly, much more interesting than just a simple squeeze. It's a multi-step transformation,
Right.
a delicate dance from nature to bottle. We'll trace 6 main stages: harvesting, processing the fruit, a crucial step called malaxation, then pressing, an optional refining stage, which is often detrimental, actually, and finally, bottling. Each step is absolutely critical. It profoundly impacts the quality of the oil you end up with.
Exactly. Every single decision made during these intricate production stages. I mean, from the moment the olive leaves the tree to its final seal in a bottle, it fundamentally shapes the final product. It determines its flavor, its nutritional profile, and even, how long it stays fresh in your pantry.
So let's start at the very beginning with the harvest. When you imagine olives being picked, you might picture these quaint, idyllic scenes, people handpicking each olive from the branches. And while that was the traditional method, and it still happens in some artisanal groves, right?
It does, yeah.
But for most commercial growers today, efficiency is key, and that means machines. These mechanical approaches vary quite a bit, from something relatively low-tech, like a long-handled vibrating rake that gently shakes olives from the branches, all the way up to high-tech tractor shakers or even specialized machines like the ones for grape harvesting that actually straddle the trees. And to ensure those precious olives don't just hit the hard ground, nets are typically laid out beneath the trees, sort of a soft landing zone.
And the methods, plus the precise timing of that harvest, are incredibly critical because they profoundly impact both the taste and the overall quality of the olive oil. All olives, regardless of their specific variety, they mature through a natural color spectrum. They start out a vibrant green, then transition to a rosy or purplish hue, and eventually turn black. This color progression is a direct indicator of their maturity. It's not about the variety. Now, here's an interesting point. Green, young olives contain more oil and, crucially, tend to have a more bitter, pungent taste.
Bitter. Is that a good thing?
It can be. That bitterness isn't a flaw. It's actually a sign of their higher polyphenol content. Those amazing health-boosting compounds we'll definitely be diving into later. As olives mature and turn darker, their flavor profile mellows out. Softer, rounder. However, this mellowness comes with a significant trade-off. More mature olives are less hardy, they bruise much more easily, and any damage to the fruit, even a tiny bruise, can prematurely kickstart oxidation and fermentation.
Oh, like a cut apple turning brown.
Exactly like that. And this damage severely detracts from the resulting taste and overall quality of the oil. It introduces off flavors. That's why careful handling is paramount. Hand-picking, for instance, significantly reduces the risk of bruising. It leads to what some might call tree olive oils, differentiating them from ground olive oils where olives are just knocked down. Thankfully, modern agricultural technology is continuously advancing. It's making machine harvesting increasingly controlled and gentle, minimizing that precious fruit damage.
Okay, so gentle handling is key.
Absolutely. And once those olives are off the tree, the clock starts ticking immediately. They must be processed within just 3 days to prevent rotting. This urgency highlights the incredibly time-sensitive nature of producing high-quality olive oil.
Wow, 3 days.
Yeah, and to give you a sense of the sheer effort involved, it takes approximately 80 to 100 pounds of olives to produce just a single gallon of olive oil.
80 to 100 pounds for 1 gallon.
Yep. And olive trees typically don't yield enough fruit for commercial production until their fifth or sixth year. This really underscores the need for vast, dedicated groves and, significant time investment for sustainable, high-volume olive oil production. It's truly a labor of love.
80 to 100 pounds for a gallon. That really puts the effort into perspective. So once those precious, carefully harvested olives arrive at the mill, they immediately move into the processing stage. I can imagine there's a lot to do to get them ready for oil extraction.
There is. Sometimes the olives might be stored for maybe a couple of days, in crates or sacks, ideally in shallow layers to minimize further bruising. This storage period is necessary because the processing often can't quite keep up with the speed of picking.
Right, logistics.
Exactly. Before they go anywhere near a crusher, though, there's a vital cleaning step. This removes any lingering stems, twigs, leaves, or other debris that came in from the grove. Then they're thoroughly washed to get rid of any dirt and any residual pesticides on their surface.
Makes sense. Clean fruit, clean oil.
Precisely. Once cleaned, the olives are ready for crushing, a process that has evolved over centuries. Historically, massive stone mill wheels would slowly grind the olives in their pits into a thick paste.
I can picture that. Very traditional.
Very. But today, for efficiency and hygiene, stainless steel rollers have largely replaced these traditional mills. They do the job quickly and effectively, but simply crushing isn't enough to coax out all the oil. That's where malaxation comes in. It's a crucial and somewhat delicate step.
Malaxation. Okay, what's that involve?
Well, it involves mixing a bit of water into the olive paste to thin its consistency, makes it easier to work with. The mixture is then gently, slowly churned, typically for about 20 to 40 minutes. The main purpose of this churning is to encourage the tiny oil droplets, which are suspended throughout the paste, to sort of clump together.
Oh, like making bigger drops out of tiny ones.
Exactly. Imagine microscopic oil bubbles coalescing into larger ones. This makes the subsequent separation process much, much easier. It's a delicate balance, though. A slightly longer malaxation time can allow the oil to pick up more complex flavors from the paste, really enriching its profile. However, this extended exposure also means more contact with air, and air can lead to oxidation and degrade the oil's quality, much like that bruised olive we talked about.
Right, that oxidation problem again.
Yeah. So to mitigate this risk, some advanced operations employ a clever technique. They fill the malaxation chamber with harmless inert gases like nitrogen. This slows down that oxidation process, preserving the oil's integrity and its precious beneficial compounds.
Clever. Using nitrogen to protect the flavor.
It is quite clever.
So we've got this carefully prepared paste, enriched with flavor. Now comes the moment of truth, separating the oil from everything else. Traditionally, as you might imagine, oil was literally pressed out of the olive paste using columns of heavy stones, very manual, very laborious. But now I'm guessing technology has given us a faster, more efficient way to get to that liquid gold.
Precisely. That traditional pressing method has largely been replaced by modern centrifuges. These are high-speed spinning machines that use centrifugal force to efficiently separate the components.
Like a salad spinner, but way more powerful.
Kind of, yeah. As the drum spins rapidly, the solid olive pieces and pits, which are collectively known as pomace, are forced to the edges. Meanwhile, the lighter oil and water mixture is extracted from the center. This oil and water mixture is then further separated, often in a second, smaller centrifuge, until you're left with pure, precious olive oil. It's quite an ingenious and efficient system, really.
Okay, centrifuge. Got it. And you mentioned pomace.
Yes, and that brings us to an important distinction for you as a consumer. The solid material left behind after this initial oil extraction is called pomace. While some producers stop after the initial extraction, focusing solely on the pure first press oil, other manufacturers perform a second extraction on this pomace. They use more intensive methods, often involving steam or even chemical solvents like hexene, to squeeze out any last drops of oil.
Hexane. That sounds industrial.
It is. And the product of this second, more aggressive extraction is called olive pomace oil. This is a significantly lower quality product. It has a very different taste, texture, and color compared to regular olive oil, and certainly compared to extra virgin. It's typically sold in bulk to other companies for industrial uses, not directly to consumers, precisely because, well, It cannot be mistaken for the real thing once you've tasted it. This distinction is crucial for understanding why labels matter so much and why you should really look for extra virgin.
That distinction between virgin and pomace oil is a really eye-opening detail.
Yeah.
And it brings us to another step that can drastically change the oil. Refining. I understand that for the best olive oils, like EVOO, this isn't even part of the process, right?
That's absolutely correct. Refining is a process that does not apply to higher quality olive oils like extra virgin olive oil. In fact, olive oil is quite unique in that it's one of the only vegetable oils that doesn't have to undergo refining to be consumed. EVOOs, because of their inherent quality, already boast fantastic taste, fragrance, and a healthy composition. Further processing is not only unnecessary, but actually detrimental.
So why refine it all then?
Well, refining is primarily undertaken for lower quality olive oils. Its main purpose is to remove undesirable characteristics, things like bitterness, high acidity, any off flavors, essentially making them milder, smoother, and lighter in color. In short, making them palatable, fit for human consumption when they otherwise wouldn't be. However, and this is a crucial takeaway for you, refining methods actively break down and strip away beneficial compounds like polyphenols and other phytonutrients.
Ah, the good stuff gets removed.
Exactly. These are the very compounds responsible for many of olive oil's health benefits. Therefore, if your goal is to maximize the health benefits, you absolutely need to buy unrefined extra virgin olive oil. As a consumer, you should be extremely wary of labels that use terms like light olive oil or pure olive oil. These terms are almost always indicators that the product has undergone significant refining.
Light and pure aren't necessarily good then.
Not in this context, no. They usually mean heavily processed. To give you a glimpse into what this refining entails, imagine harsh industrial processes. For example, some involve treating the oil with hot water, steam, or acids to remove gummy substances, but this also strips away those beneficial polyphenols. Others use caustic chemicals to remove acidity, or high heat to bleach out color or remove undesirable odors. This process, known as deodorization, heats the oil to extremely high temperatures, sometimes over 300 degrees Fahrenheit, and uses steam. While it removes odors, it also irrevocably degrades many of the beneficial compounds.
Yikes. Sounds pretty aggressive.
It is. Sometimes, after all this refining, the oil is almost entirely stripped of color, taste, and scent. It's basically neutralized. To give it some appeal and make it resemble olive oil, manufacturers might mix this refined oil with a small amount of extra virgin olive oil, just to reintroduce a bit of color and fragrance before bottling. These blended oils are then sold under labels such as refined olive oil, pure olive oil, or often just ambiguously olive oil.
How do we avoid that?
To ensure you're getting an unrefined oil that retains all its natural goodness, always look specifically for extra virgin olive oil and look for it from a trusted manufacturer that is transparent about their processes. Brands like Brightland, for instance, are known for their clarity. Choosing domestic producers like those in California can also be a good strategy. It often means greater oversight and a fresher product due to shorter shipping distances, bringing the oil to you faster.
That makes so much sense. It really highlights why reading labels and understanding what those labels don't say is so important. So after all that meticulous harvesting, processing, and careful separation, we reach the final crucial stages: bottling and storage. How do these last steps protect the olive oil's quality before it reaches our kitchens?
These final stages are absolutely critical for preserving the integrity and health benefits of your olive oil. First, there's an optional but often beneficial step called racking. This involves storing the oil in large stainless steel tanks, allowing any remaining tiny particles or sediment to settle at the bottom due to gravity. Think of it like letting fine wine clarify.
Letting the gunk settle out.
Basically, yes. This process might even be repeated several times until the oil is perfectly clear. Then comes the filling and packaging. Various machines are used to fill bottles, which come in different materials like plastic or glass. These bottles can be clear, partly transparent, or crucially, opaque.
And the bottle matters.
Oh, hugely. The type of packaging and your storage conditions at home are paramount. We strongly recommend opaque bottles like those used by Brightland, or at least dark green glass. Why? Because they shield the olive oil from harmful UV light.
Sunlight damage.
Exactly. Just like direct sunlight can fade your furniture, exposure to UV rays dramatically breaks down the oil and significantly shortens its shelf life. It degrades its quality and beneficial compounds. For optimal results, olive oil should always be stored properly, away from both heat and light. A cool, dark pantry or cabinet is ideal, definitely away from your stove or sunny windowsills.
Good tip. And shelf life.
An unopened bottle of EVO typically boasts a shelf life of 18 to 24 months. Depends on the oil and the harvest date, of course. However, once you crack that seal, it's best to use the olive oil within about 3 months.
3 months.
Yeah, ideally. Beyond that, it will begin to oxidize and degrade. It'll lose its fresh taste and many of its beneficial properties. So here's a tip. Don't save those beautiful bottles for a special occasion. The sooner you use them, the better they will taste and the more health benefits you'll actually get.
Use it, don't save it. Got it.
And to be truly confident in what you're buying, we encourage you to go beyond just the label sometimes. Check with brands directly about their manufacturing process. Ask about specific harvest dates and the olive varieties used. Remember, labels don't always tell the whole story. Purchasing California extra virgin olive oil from domestic producers, for instance, can offer greater oversight and often a fresher product because of those shorter shipping distances, brings the oil to you faster.
That's excellent advice for ensuring freshness and quality right from the start. But even with the best intentions, the olive oil aisle can still be utterly confusing, especially when you're looking for a genuinely high-quality product to maximize those incredible health benefits we're about to explore. You just want to know what to grab and what to leave on the shelf, right? Here's where it gets really interesting.
It absolutely is. Navigating the world of olive oil effectively requires an informed eye, but it doesn't have to be overly complicated. Let's break down the crucial parameters and red flags that will help you discern authentic, high-quality, extra virgin olive oil from, well, the lesser products. First and foremost, our core recommendation is always to buy extra virgin olive oil, or EVOO. You should actively avoid anything simply labeled olive oil or refined olive oil, as these have undergone processing that severely degrades their quality, as we just discussed.
BVO is the gold standard.
Pretty much. A key scientific parameter that definitively defines EVO quality is its acidity percentage. This is expressed as a percentage of oleic acid. For an oil to be classified as true EVOO, its acidity must be less than 0.8%. That's less than 0.8 grams per 100 grams of oleic acid. In fact, the lower, the better. Oils in the 0.25–0.40% range are considered excellent quality.
So lower acidity equals higher quality.
Generally, yes. To put this in perspective, if the acidity is greater than 1%, it's classified as virgin olive oil, or VOO, which must be less than 2%. Ordinary olive oil can have an acidity up to 3.3%. This acidity level is a direct indicator of the fruit's quality at harvest and the speed and care of processing. Low acidity means the olives were healthy, harvested carefully, and processed quickly.
Okay, check for low acidity if possible.
And beyond acidity, the extraction method is non-negotiable for EVOO. It must be cold-pressed and extracted exclusively by mechanical means. This means no processes involving heat or chemical solvents are used. This method is vital because it preserves the oil's naturally high nutritional profile, rich in those valuable polyphenols and other beneficial compounds that are so easily destroyed by heat and solvents in refined oils.
Cold-pressed, mechanical means. Key phrases.
Absolutely. Beyond the core distinction of EVOO and its acidity, several indicators on the label, and even beyond it, signal true authenticity and freshness. The harvest date is paramount. Olive oil, much like fruit juice of olives, is a fresh product. It's best consumed within a couple of years of harvest. Ideally, it should have been harvested within a year or two. Unfortunately, many brands don't make this date clear on their labels.
Which is a bit of a red flag.
For an informed consumer, yes, it's a definite red flag. Look for terms like early harvest olives. These are especially prized for their exceptionally high polyphenol content and should ideally be milled into oil within 24 hours of picking. Some premium brands do specify this, and they're often worth seeking out for their superior health benefits and vibrant flavor.
Harvest date. Got it. What else?
Next, consider origin transparency. Look for a singular country of origin rather than a vague blend of oils from the EU and non-EU countries. Ideally, reputable labels should even pinpoint the specific grove or region within the country. For example, California-sourced olive oil is high quality and authentic, and is often readily available directly from small producers or farmers markets, offers greater traceability and freshness.
Specific origin is better than a vague blend.
Much better. Certifications like PDO, Protected Designation of Origin, or other authenticity markers are also valuable. They signify adherence to specific, rigorous production rules designed to ensure quality and origin. For an extra layer of trust, some truly reputable brands may offer independent lab reports detailing acidity and polyphenol content. These reports provide concrete, scientific data to back their claims, offering transparency you can really trust.
Lab reports sound serious.
They are, but they show the producer is serious about quality. Now, for the truly dedicated learner, there are even more advanced chemical parameters that olive oil experts use, though these are less commonly found on consumer labels. For example, specific values like K232 or K270 are indicators of the oil's freshness and how well the olives were handled before pressing. A low K232 value suggests the olives weren't stored improperly, and a low K270 value indicates the oil is relatively young. These are precise scientific measurements that reinforce overall quality and purity, consistent across European standards.
Okay, that's getting pretty technical, but good to know it exists. So, we've got a lot to look for on the label, but what about what we can actually experience? Are there sensory clues, taste, color, aroma that can tell us if an EVO is truly high quality? Because for most of us, that's our primary interaction with it.
Absolutely. Your senses are incredibly powerful tools for discerning a quality EVOO. When you taste a good EVOO, you should experience a fruity, grassy taste on your tongue. It's often fresh, vibrant, maybe reminds you of green almonds or freshly cut grass. What's particularly indicative of high polyphenol content, those healthy compounds, is a slight burning or peppery sensation in the back of your throat.
A peppery kick, like a cough.
Sometimes, yeah, that pleasant little pick tells you it's packed with those beneficial compounds that contribute to its anti-inflammatory effects. Generally, milder EVOs are versatile for everyday cooking or with sweeter dishes, while stronger, more assertive oils are perfect as finishing oils or for vibrant dressings where their flavor can truly shine.
Okay, taste for fruitiness and that peppery finish. What about color? Does green mean better?
It's important to debunk a common misconception right here. The color of EVOO is not an indicator of quality. Don't be fooled by a beautiful green color alone. Good oils can range from a vibrant, almost emerald green, often from early harvest olives, to a rich golden hue. Professional olive oil tasters even use blue glasses to prevent color from influencing their judgment.
Blue glasses. Wow. Okay, so color doesn't matter.
Not for quality, no. Finally, appreciate the incredible flavor diversity that olive oils offer. They truly range from buttery to peppery, with varying intensities based on the olive cultivar or specific type of olive used. For example, Arbequina olives typically yield a light peppery oil with subtle tropical fruit notes. Italian Nocellara provides a mild fruitiness. Spanish Joya Blanca or Greek Private Reserve often offer moderate intensity with a pleasant bitterness. And early harvest Greek EVO is renowned for its bold, intense finish. Exploring these nuances can truly elevate your culinary experience and help you find your personal preference.
That's fantastic advice, especially about the peppery kick and the color myth. But let's be honest, even with all these tips, many of us still feel a bit skeptical about the olive oil we buy, especially from regular supermarkets. There have been a lot of stories about fraud, almost like a whisper network about fake oils. Is that distrust warranted?
It's true that even with all these markers, consumers often express a healthy distrust in EVO from regular supermarkets. And unfortunately, this concern isn't entirely unfounded. Past studies, notably one from UC Davis, revealed that a significant portion of oils sold in the U.S. were either adulterated mixed with cheaper, less healthy oils, or simply didn't meet extra virgin standards.
So some of it was fake?
Or mislabeled, yeah. And then there are the recurring, sometimes sensationalized claims about mafia involvement in imported Italian olive oil, alleging that it's watered down with cheaper oils. It's important to acknowledge that there is evidence of fraud in the industry. Reports from sources like CBS News, the Olive Press, and Reuters have indeed exposed instances of fake extra virgin shipments and criminal rings attempting to pass off inferior products as premium.
Wow. So it does happen.
It does. However, it's also crucial to maintain impartiality and perspective here. While fraud exists, the reported quantities, such as at least 10 tons in some articles, represent a very small percentage of the total volume of olive oil imported from Italy. For example, the U.S. alone imported approximately 60,000 tons of olive oil from Italy in 2023. So while vigilance is necessary and these incidents are serious, they are not representative of the entire industry. There are countless reputable Italian producers dedicated to quality.
Okay, so fraud exists, but maybe not as widespread as some headlines suggest.
That seems to be the case. Another significant pitfall is packaging issues. We mentioned this earlier, but it bears repeating. Some brands still use clear glass or plastic packaging. Clear packaging, in particular, exposes the oil to light damage, which rapidly degrades its quality. Plastic, furthermore, can lead to chemical leaching into the oil, compromising its quality and potentially its safety.
Stick to dark glass or opaque bottles.
Definitely. We reiterate the strong preference for dark glass or opaque bottles to protect against light damage. Finally, the current market challenges pose significant concerns. The state of global olive harvests and prolonged droughts have dramatically reduced supply in recent years. This leads to scarcity and considerable price increases, which unfortunately makes it even harder for consumers to be sure they're getting 100% pure EVOO, as the incentive for adulteration can increase in a high-cost, low-supply environment.
Higher prices, higher risk of fakes.
Potentially, yes. These factors underscore why understanding quality indicators and buying from transparent producers is more vital now than ever.
That deep dive into quality and fraud concerns really shows us how important it is to be a discerning consumer. But now let's shift gears to the why. Why we should even bother with all this discernment. What is it about this liquid gold that makes it such a powerhouse for our health, far beyond just flavor?
Exactly, and that why is truly compelling. When we connect this to the bigger picture, EVOO isn't just a fat. It's a complex blend of natural compounds that offer profound therapeutic and immune-enhancing properties. The scientific evidence is incredibly compelling, linking its unique composition to broad, positive health impacts across many bodily systems. Let's start with EVO's nutritional profile. It's primarily a fat source composed of 98–99% triglycerides. It's particularly rich in monounsaturated fatty acids, or MUFAs, especially oleic acid, which makes up a significant 55–83% of its content. These are the good fats you hear so much about.
Healthy fats.
Right. In smaller amounts, you'll find other healthy fats like polyunsaturated fatty acids and saturated fatty acids. Importantly, EVOO contains no cholesterol, protein, or carbohydrates. Beyond the fats, EVOO also delivers crucial micronutrients. These include fat-soluble vitamins like vitamin A, vitamin D, which can provide a substantial portion of your recommended daily allowance, and vitamin K. You'll also find trace amounts of essential minerals such as sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, iron, zinc, and copper. An interesting non-oily component is chlorophyll, which gives many olive oils their characteristic green color and has been linked to supporting cell growth and blood cell formation.
Chlorophyll, like in plants.
Exactly. However, the true secrets of EVOO lie in its polyphenols. While they only make up a tiny 1–2% of the oil, these are the key bioactive compounds responsible for most of its health benefits. Think of them as tiny but mighty protectors in your body. They're what give EVOO that distinct, peppery, slightly bitter taste, especially in early harvest oils.
The things that make you cough.
Precisely. This family of over 200 compounds acts like a natural defense system, battling inflammation and oxidation. The concentration of these polyphenols can vary widely depending on factors like the olive type, climate, ripeness at harvest, and the specific oil extraction process. So that peppery kick you feel, that's a sign your oil is packed with these beneficial defenders. In fact, the European Food Safety Authority has even published a specific health claim. They state that consuming just 5 milligrams daily of key polyphenol compounds found in olive oil can protect your blood lipids, your fats circulating in your blood, against oxidative damage.
Wow, a specific health claim. That's significant.
It is. It's a powerful, scientifically backed endorsement of their health-promoting capacity.
So these polyphenols are the superstars. And it's no surprise that olive oil, with all these amazing compounds, is considered a cornerstone of the Mediterranean diet. But what exactly does that mean for its health impact? Is it just the oil, or is it the whole picture?
That's a crucial distinction. EVOO isn't just another ingredient. It's rightly described as the traditional symbol and a common and central feature of the Mediterranean diet. It represents its primary source of healthy fat. But to truly appreciate EVO's profound role, we need to understand the holistic nature of the Mediterranean diet, the Medi itself. This isn't just a list of foods, it's a lifestyle.
More than just what you eat.
Exactly. This dietary pattern is characterized by a high consumption of fruits, vegetables, whole grain cereals, legumes, nuts, and seeds. It involves low to moderate intake of dairy, fish, and poultry, and very little red or processed meat. Crucially, the Media emphasizes traditionally produced, locally marketed, minimally processed food eaten shortly after harvesting in a pleasant, familiar environment. It often includes moderate wine consumption with meals, encourages rest after eating, and promotes regular physical activity.
It sounds like a really nice way to live, actually.
It does, doesn't it? And this comprehensive lifestyle, with EVOO at its heart, contributes to its remarkable health benefits, particularly in terms of how it influences our immune system and inflammatory responses. The Mediate, with the generous inclusion of EVOO, helps to fine-tune our body's defense mechanisms. It achieves this through both direct effects from EVO's rich content of MUFAs, vitamins, and polyphenols, and indirect effects from the overall diet's lower saturated fat content and a healthier balance of essential fatty acids. For example, a traditional Greek mediet achieves a very desirable ratio of certain polyunsaturated fats, which is significantly better than the ratios often found in typical Western diets. This optimal fatty acid balance is a major contributor to the diet's widespread health benefits.
So it's the oil and the whole dietary pattern working together.
Precisely.
Mhm.
And one of the most thoroughly documented benefits of EVOO is its profound impact on cardiovascular health. It's not just good for your heart, it actively protects it. A key mechanism here is the reduction of oxidative stress. Think of oxidative stress as rust forming inside your body, damaging cells and tissues.
Rust.
Not good.
Not good at all. EVOO's rich antioxidant properties are critical in preventing this rust that is a known factor in the development of serious conditions like atherosclerosis, the hardening of arteries, which can lead to heart attacks and strokes, as well as hypertension, diabetes, and metabolic syndrome. The scientific evidence is very robust here. Observational studies, like the landmark pre-DEMID study, have shown a clear link. An increase of just 10 grams per day in EVO intake was associated with a significant 10% reduction in the risk of cardiovascular events.
Just 10 grams a day, that's not much, like a tablespoon.
Roughly, yeah. It's a powerful correlation for a simple dietary change. Clinical trials further support this, demonstrating that consuming EVOO rich in beneficial compounds significantly reduced markers of cardiovascular risk. Things like bad cholesterol that has been damaged by oxidation and other harmful compounds in the blood. It also improved how our body's protective systems fight off inflammation and oxidative stress. Furthermore, EVOO helps to blunt post-meal oxidative stress. That's the oxidative damage that often occurs after we eat, particularly large or unhealthy meals, by improving the function of our blood vessels and platelets.
So it helps even after a big meal.
It seems to, yes. The anti-inflammatory effects are also notable. Consumption of a Mediterranean-style diet supplemented with EVOO led to a significant reduction in systemic vascular inflammation markers. These are signals in your blood that indicate widespread inflammation in patients with metabolic syndrome. Both long-term and short-term studies have consistently confirmed EVOO's ability to reduce inflammation and blood clotting, key factors in heart disease. And for those concerned about blood pressure, studies on individuals at high cardiovascular risk, particularly women, showed that EVOO supplementation significantly reduced both systolic and diastolic blood pressure values. This body of evidence firmly positions EVOO as a vital active component for maintaining cardiovascular wellness.
So EVOO is truly a champion for heart health, that's clear. But what about our metabolism? So many people are concerned about blood sugar and cholesterol these days. How does all this goodness in olive oil affect that?
That's an excellent question, as EVOO also exerts a significant positive influence on metabolic health, particularly in managing diabetes and lipid profiles. For instance, the Mediterranean diet, with EVOO as its primary fat source, is strongly associated with a reduction in bad cholesterol levels, specifically atherogenic LDL-C and non-HDL-C, which contribute to plaque buildup in arteries. What's even more impressive is that EVOO actually improves several functions of HDL, our good cholesterol.
Making the good cholesterol even better.
Exactly. Enhancing its ability to remove excess cholesterol from our cells and boosting its antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. It makes our HDL work harder for us. In terms of glycemic control, meaning how your body handles blood sugar, EVOO supplementation has a beneficial effect on your metabolic profiles after you eat. Studies show it can help decrease blood glucose, that bad oxidized LDL cholesterol, and simultaneously increase insulin levels in healthy subjects.
How does it do that?
Well, the mechanisms behind this are quite clever. EVOO helps your body better manage blood sugar and fat levels after you eat by boosting certain natural hormones that signal your body to produce more insulin, helps keep your blood sugar steady. The polyphenols in EVOO also play a direct role. They can affect glucose metabolism by slowing down carbohydrate digestion and absorption, reducing the release of glucose from your liver, or even stimulating your cells to take up more glucose. Their powerful antioxidant properties can also diminish the production of harmful compounds that accumulate with high blood sugar, which can lower your overall glycemic load and enhance your body's sensitivity to insulin.
So multiple ways it helps control blood sugar.
Yes, it seems to work on several levels. For the prevention of type 2 diabetes, meta-analyses of randomized controlled trials clearly support these beneficial effects on metabolic risk factors. The landmark pre-DEMID study showed that a Mediterranean diet supplemented with EVOO led to improved glucose metabolism and decreased body weight, ultimately resulting in a reduction in new-onset diabetes cases. And specific components, like one of those polyphenols called oleuropein, have been individually shown to lower blood sugar levels after meals, further solidifying EVOO's role in maintaining metabolic balance.
Okay, heart health, metabolic health.
Yeah.
What else? I remember reading something about cancer.
Yes. When we talk about EVO's health benefits, its potential anti-cancer properties often come as a surprising revelation for many. It moves beyond general wellness into truly specific protective actions. Epidemiological evidence first hinted at this. It showed that populations with high EVO intake have a lower prevalence of breast cancer and various digestive cancers, as demonstrated in systematic reviews and meta-analyses. Women consistently following a Mediterranean diet where EVO is the predominant fat simply have lower rates of breast cancer. EVO has even been shown to contribute to the prevention of malignant melanoma, with its antioxidant properties helping to counteract sun-induced damage to cells.
Melanoma too, wow.
Yeah. This epidemiological data rests on solid scientific bases, and the underlying molecular protection is truly fascinating. Let's look at some of the ways it works. Take oleic acid, the predominant healthy fat in EVOO. It has been shown to actively suppress the abnormal growth signals that are critical in the development and progression of certain cancers, like human mammary carcinoma. Then there are the powerful polyphenols. One called hydroxytyrosol can actually improve the response to chemotherapy in women with breast cancer, helping the body manage molecules involved in cancer cell growth and spread. Furthermore, in laboratory studies, it's been shown to prevent DNA damage and inhibit the proliferation or rapid multiplication of breast, prostate, colon, and thyroid cancer cells.
So it can help fight cancer cells directly?
In vitro, yes, it shows that potential. Another remarkable polyphenol is oleocanthal, that peppery compound we mentioned earlier. It exhibits very specific toxic effects on human melanoma cells, skin cancer cells, while importantly leaving normal, healthy skin cells unharmed. It essentially tells cancer cells to stop multiplying and to undergo programmed cell death.
That's incredible specificity.
It is. Oleocanthal has been shown to inhibit cell growth more effectively than some classic pharmaceutical anti-inflammatory drugs and provides potent anti-inflammatory properties, remarkably similar to the painkiller ibuprofen, by calming down inflammatory pathways in the body. Other compounds like oleuropein have been shown to induce cell death in liver cancer cells and can even show synergistic effects when combined with certain chemotherapy drugs, potentially making treatments more effective. And another phenolic compound, oleacin, has been described to inhibit tumor-initiating cells through metabolic and genetic mechanisms at even very low physiological concentrations.
So many different compounds doing different things.
Exactly. In summary, the polyphenols in olive oil likely act primarily as powerful anti-inflammatory molecules, with their diverse actions on cell signaling contributing significantly to cancer prevention. The overarching conclusion is clear. The advice to consume olive oil as the predominant fat source to lower cancer risk rests on solid bases. It's truly a protective shield.
That's a truly incredible array of specific protections. So it sounds like EVO isn't just preventing diseases, but it's actively building up our defenses. Is it fair to call it an immune enhancer?
It's absolutely fair. EVOO, as a valuable component of the Mediterranean diet, is truly a nutritional therapeutic immune enhancer. It plays a crucial role in maintaining a strong, balanced immune system and actively reduces both inflammation and oxidative stress. These are factors known to increase the risk for serious cases of infections. Think of how malnutrition, for instance, is directly linked to increased disease severity, as we saw with severe cases of COVID-19. EVO helps build resilience.
Strengthening the immune system.
Yes. The components within EVOO, particularly its healthy dietary fatty acids and polyphenols, effectively modulate the immune response. They help the body prevent and manage a wide range of illnesses. This means EVOO can fine-tune various immune functions, specifically reducing the inflammatory activity commonly observed in autoimmune disorders like inflammatory bowel disease, rheumatoid arthritis, systemic lupus erythematosus, and sclerosis. Crucially, it does this without making you more susceptible to pathogens, maintaining a healthy, balanced immune response.
So it calms down overactive immune responses without weakening the useful ones.
Well, that's the idea, yes.
Huh.
At a cellular and molecular level, the nutrients in EVO are deeply involved in regulating how our immune cells communicate and respond. They influence immune cell function, contribute to the structural integrity of cell membranes, support cellular energy production, and help prevent cellular damage. Furthermore, they contribute to our adaptive immune responses by influencing how our B and T lymphocytes, key immune cells, mature, multiply, activate, and produce antibodies, essentially providing a comprehensive protective shield for your entire body.
Okay, this is blowing my mind a bit. What about weight management? Does olive oil help there? Seems counterintuitive, adding fat to lose weight.
It does seem that way, doesn't it? But it's widely recognized now that chronic obesity isn't just about weight. It's a state of chronic systemic inflammation. and this widespread inflammation can contribute to various other conditions, including asthma and allergies. So for those looking at weight management, EVO offers some intriguing possibilities, though research is still developing in this area. There is limited but suggestive evidence for EVO's positive effects on body weight, particularly regarding its potential to reduce fat mass while simultaneously increasing muscle mass.
Reduce fat, increase muscle. Interesting.
Yes. Delving deeper, one of EVO's key compounds, hydroxytyrosol, has been shown to influence the genes and tiny regulatory molecules within our fat cells, particularly under inflammatory conditions. It achieves this by reducing oxidative stress and inhibiting certain inflammatory pathways. This mechanism suggests that hydroxytyrosol may help reduce the recruitment of immune cells that contribute to inflammation in fat tissue and prevent the deregulation of pathways involved in obesity-related diseases. While more large-scale human intervention studies are needed, the preliminary findings suggest EVOO could be a valuable dietary tool in the broader strategy to combat the chronic inflammation often associated with obesity, potentially making healthy weight management a more attainable goal.
So EVOO can help with weight management by tackling inflammation. That's a really interesting connection. What about allergies and asthma? Can olive oil play a role in modulating those immune responses?
It absolutely can. The benefits of EVOO and the Mediterranean diet extend even to respiratory health and allergies. Recent systematic reviews and meta-analyses suggest a clear inverse relationship between adherence to the Mediterranean dietary pattern and asthma symptoms in children. This pattern acts as a protective factor for current wheeze and asthma ever.
So kids eating immediate have less asthma.
The evidence suggests that, yes, this isn't just a coincidence. The richness of EVOO and bioactive compounds helps to prevent or limit inflammatory responses in the airways. It does this by reducing harmful reactive oxygen species and inhibiting damage to fats in our cells, both of which are central to allergic and asthmatic reactions. Looking specifically at olive oil, a population-based study found that increased intake of those healthy monounsaturated fatty acids and oleic acid was associated with a reduced risk of current asthma. More precisely, an increase of just 10 grams per day in olive oil intake was linked to a significant 20% decreased risk of current asthma.
20%, again, for just a tablespoon or so.
It's a substantial correlation. The compound hydroxytyrosol also contributes here. Studies have shown its ability to promote a tolerogenic immune response, essentially training our immune system to be less reactive. It does this by increasing the secretion of an anti-inflammatory molecule in immune cells when those cells are exposed to an allergenic substance. This suggests that EVOO can actually promote a healthy, less reactive immune response that could be beneficial for allergy sufferers. Furthermore, EVOO polyphenols also demonstrate anti-inflammatory effects on human skin cells, suppressing key inflammatory signals. This indicates their potential for managing skin inflammatory conditions as well.
Okay, skin conditions. That's a perfect segue.
So yes, it's truly a protective shield inside and out.
Wow, so olive oil isn't just a tasty fat, it's a powerful health ally, from heart health to fighting inflammation and even potentially preventing certain cancers and allergies. That's truly incredible. But now let's tackle some common persistent myths and concerns, especially those surrounding cooking with olive oil and high heat. Many of us have heard warnings about this, wondering if we're doing more harm than good. So what does this all mean for how we confidently use it in the kitchen every day?
That's a crucial question because there's a lot of misinformation out there, and it often leads people to avoid using EVOO for cooking, which means missing out on those incredible benefits. I want to clarify the scientific evidence and provide nuanced advice so you can cook with olive oil with absolute confidence. Understanding the real story behind smoke points and oxidative stability. Let's start by defining smoke point. This is simply the temperature at which any fat begins to break down and visibly smoke, producing acrid fumes. For olive oil, this range can be anywhere from about 374 degrees air to 450 degrees, depending on the type. Extra virgin olive oil, EVOO, typically has a smoke point around 374 degrees aerotes, while pure or light olive oils, which have been refined, can go higher, up to 450 degrees aerotes.
Okay, 374 degrees after EVOO. That seems not super high.
It's lower than some other oils, true. But here's the myth debunked. Despite persistent misinformation, olive oil is perfectly safe to use even at high temperatures for cooking. This isn't just anecdotal. Research from various governmental and academic agencies, including the Culinary Institute of America, has consistently proven that olive oil is stable and safe. It ranks first among cooking oils in terms of overall health benefits. The key is understanding that smoke point isn't the only or even the most important factor.
What's more important, though?
What's actually far more critical than just the smoke point is an oil's oxidative stability. This quantifies an oil's resistance to breaking down when exposed to oxygen, heat, and light, the very conditions it encounters during cooking and storage. And here's where EVOO truly shines. It stands out for its oxidative stability.
Why is it so stable?
Well, it's primarily due to its richness in monounsaturated fatty acids, which are inherently quite heat stable. And crucially, its high levels of natural antioxidants, those polyphenols, act as a protective buffer, preventing the oil from degrading. These factors combined help EVO produce far fewer harmful compounds when heated compared to other oils, even those with higher smoke points.
So fewer harmful compounds even if it smokes a bit earlier.
Exactly. Consider some compelling comparative studies. A 2018 study found that oils higher in polyunsaturated fatty acids, such as corn oil, produce twice the amount of harmful compounds compared to EVOO, even though corn oil has a higher smoke point. Similarly, other studies showed that EVOO and other olive oils held up significantly better under frying conditions. They lasted 24 to 27 hours before significant degradation compared to only 15 hours for vegetable oil. This demonstrates less oxidation overall, proving that olive oil's natural antioxidants helping them stay stable regardless of type, making them a robust and healthy choice for most cooking applications.
That's a huge relief. So my EVOO isn't turning into something harmful when I saute with it. But if it's so stable, does that mean it keeps all its health benefits intact even after cooking? Or do some of those precious polyphenols disappear with the heat?
That's a natural and important question. Given its impressive oxidative stability, you'd hope those benefits would stick around. The primary effect of heating olive oil is typically the evaporation of some of its more volatile flavor compounds. This means that rich, pungent taste that makes EVOO so distinctive as a finishing oil might diminish somewhat.
So it might taste a bit milder after heating.
Potentially, yes. However, when it comes to nutrient resilience, the good news is that studies indicate healthy antioxidant and polyphenol numbers remain quite high even after heating. For example, one study specifically looked at 2 extra virgin olive oils heated to 356 degrees Arab half for a substantial 36 hours.
36 hours, that's a long time.
It is. And while some antioxidants were indeed lost, key beneficial compounds such as oleic acid, that vital monounsaturated fatty acid, sterols, and squalene remained remarkably stable in both oils. This means that despite heat exposure, these oils retained much of their nutritional value and protective qualities. So the conclusion is reassuring. In most everyday cooking applications, EVO largely retains its significant beneficial nutrients. While some subtle flavor notes might diminish, the core health advantages, particularly from its stable fatty acids and resilient antioxidants, are preserved. You can absolutely cook with it and still reap those benefits.
Fantastic. Cook away with EVOO.
With confidence, and with those myths dispelled, you can truly embrace EVOO as an everyday culinary staple. It's not just safe, it's the main cooking fat in Mediterranean kitchens, versatile enough for almost anything you can imagine. We're talking about crafting a perfect Greek salad dressing, whipping up a vibrant basil pesto, creating light pasta sauces, marinating grilled meats, roasting vegetables to crispy perfection, simmering hearty stews, and even baking.
Baking with olive oil.
Absolutely. A good olive oil is celebrated for its ability to complement and enhance the other ingredients in a dish, elevating the overall flavor profile. It's truly a secret ingredient for depth of flavor. Now, a quick note on deep frying. While EVOO can technically be used for deep frying, and studies even show its resistance to oxidation under such conditions, it's generally not recommended by experts from the Mediterranean dish.
Why not? If it's stable.
The main reason: its relatively high price. Deep frying demands a large quantity of oil, and using so much high-quality EVOO only to discard it is considered wasteful for most home cooks. For deep frying, a cheaper neutral-tasting oil like grapeseed oil is often suggested as a preferred, more economical alternative. Save your good EVOO for where its flavor and nutrients can truly shine.
Okay, save the EVOO, use something cheaper for deep frying. Makes sense.
But don't let that deter you from baking with olive oil. It is absolutely suitable for both savory and sweet baking recipes. Think whole wheat bread, blueberry muffins, even rich chocolate cake. For sweet recipes, a fruity rather than peppery olive oil is recommended, such as a mild and buttery arbequina olive oil to complement the dessert's profile without overpowering it.
Good tip for baking.
When you're actively cooking, remember this practical tip: don't crank the heat. Heat the oil just until it's shimmering but not smoking. This means you'll see the oil begin to move slightly, show a subtle sheen on the surface, and perhaps tiny bubbles may appear beneath.
Right.
At this point, it's hot enough to cook with, and you're protecting its flavor and beneficial compounds.
Shimmering, not smoking. Okay.
And for safety in the kitchen, especially when cooking wetter ingredients, a splatter guard or screen is a must-have. This prevents painful burns and annoying oil stains on your clothes and kitchen.
Definitely need one of those.
Finally, let's reiterate optimal storage because it matters for cooking too. To maintain both its flavor and nutrients, olive oil should always be stored in a cool, dark place, well away from direct heat sources like your stove or direct sunlight. Once opened, it's best to use the oil within 3 months to prevent oxidation and the degradation of its taste and quality. So truly, enjoy it often.
That's a huge relief for anyone who loves cooking with olive oil. It's fantastic to know it largely retains its benefits, even with heat. But here's where we move beyond the plate and into some surprisingly external uses for olive oil, really expanding on its incredible versatility. Who knew that this pantry staple could also be a secret weapon for your skin?
It's true. Olive oil's remarkable properties translate beautifully to skincare, offering several compelling benefits, though it's important to be aware of the nuances and potential risks for different skin types. Let's delve into the beneficial properties that make olive oil so appealing for skin health. First, its remarkable antioxidant content. Olive oil possesses potent antioxidant properties that help prevent oxidation, that process that produces free radicals.
Those damaging free radicals again.
Exactly. These free radicals are like tiny aggressors that can damage skin cells and contribute to premature skin aging and even the development of certain skin cancers. Its high oleic acid content plays a significant role in this protective action. Furthermore, consuming olive oil provides compounds like oleocanthal, that antioxidant with anti-inflammatory properties similar to ibuprofen, offers a systemic anti-inflammatory effect that can also benefit your skin from the inside out.
So eating it helps skin too.
It does. Next, we have its vitamin content. Olive oil naturally contains fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K, all of which are beneficial for skin health. While vitamin E oil is often used topically for conditions like psoriasis and eczema, most research actually supports oral supplementation for these benefits, with more limited direct evidence for significant topical benefits. Olive oil also exhibits antibacterial effects. An older study, for instance, found that both olive oil and coconut oil showed antibacterial properties against common skin bacteria like Staphylococcus aureus, though virgin coconut oil was slightly more effective.
So it can fight some skin bacteria.
It seems so. This suggests olive oil could be used to treat minor bacterial skin infections and has indeed been shown to improve healing in individuals with foot ulcers caused by type 2 diabetes. Finally, and perhaps most commonly, are its moisturizing effects. Olive oil is a popular natural moisturizer widely used to soften both skin and hair. A recent 2025 study comparing extra virgin olive oil and petrolatum on forearm skin found that both significantly improved hydration, reduced redness and flakiness, and enhanced skin barrier function. Interestingly, EVO uniquely helped renew the skin by promoting cell turnover, while petrolatum was more effective at reducing water loss.
So EVO helps renew skin cells.
According to that study, yes. Another 2019 study involving 571 older adult nursing home residents at risk of pressure ulcers demonstrated that applying an olive oil solution resulted in a lower incidence of pressure ulcers compared to another common treatment, further underscoring its therapeutic moisturizing capabilities.
Okay, antioxidant, vitamins, antibacterial, moisturizing.
Yeah.
Quite a list. How do people actually use it?
Given these beneficial properties, there are several practical and surprisingly simple ways to incorporate olive oil into your skincare routine. As a moisturizer, you can apply it directly to the skin. To prevent a greasy feeling, especially for facial use, consider applying it to damp skin right after a shower or bath, and then gently blotting off any excess. For a natural exfoliator, mix olive oil with a bit of sea salt to create a simple scrub. Fine-grained salt is best for the face and more sensitive areas, while coarser grains work well for the rest of the body, helping to treat dry or scaly skin.
Like a DIY body scrub.
Exactly. Olive oil also serves as an effective eye makeup remover. Just a few drops on a cotton ball can effectively break down water-resistant eye makeup, making it easy to gently wipe away without harsh rubbing. For those with dry skin, an olive oil-based face mask can be incredibly softening and hydrating. You can mix it with simple kitchen ingredients like egg whites, honey, or ground oats for a nourishing treatment.
Using stuff right from the kitchen.
Yep. Due to its antioxidant content, olive oil may also serve as a wrinkle treatment, potentially helping to reduce signs of aging and wrinkles by protecting skin cells. It can be gently dabbed around the delicate eye area at night or after sun exposure. As a scar oil, the vitamins and antioxidants in olive oil may help fade scars by promoting skin cell regeneration. You can massage the undiluted oil directly into scars or mix it with a squeeze of lemon juice to address hypopigmentation. There's also some suggestion it may help prevent or treat stretch marks, although more comprehensive research is needed to confirm this definitively.
Okay, lots of uses, but quality matters here too, I assume.
Oh, enormously. For all these applications, quality matters. Always emphasize using high-quality oil, preferably EVOO. Lower quality oils may contain additives or chemicals that could irritate or damage your skin. Look for certification from organizations like the International Olive Council for assurance of quality.
That's a fascinating list of external uses. It sounds almost too good to be true. But I imagine, like with anything, there are some potential downsides or things we should be cautious about when putting olive oil directly on our skin.
You're right to be cautious. While olive oil offers many potential skin benefits, it's also essential to be aware of the potential risks and considerations. Not every skin type reacts the same way, and some studies suggest caution. An older 2013 study, for instance, reported that using olive oil for dry skin in adults and infants should not be encouraged for everyone. It suggested it might actually disrupt or damage the outer protective layer of the skin in some individuals, particularly those with existing skin barrier issues.
So it might not be good for everyone's dry skin.
Potentially not, especially if the skin barrier is already compromised. This highlights the variability of individual skin responses. What works for one person might not work for another. Furthermore, olive oil is a relatively heavy oil, and if used in excess, it may clog pores and trap bacteria.
Ah, the clogged pores issue.
Right. This can potentially lead to breakouts or irritation, especially for those with oily or acne-prone skin. The advice is to use it sparingly and always gently wipe off any excess oil immediately with a soft cloth or cotton ball after application to prevent this. Finally, some people may experience skin irritation or allergic reactions. Before applying olive oil to a larger area of your skin, it's always wise to perform a patch test.
Good advice. Test it first.
Definitely. Apply a small amount to an inconspicuous area, perhaps behind your ear or on your inner arm, and observe it for 24 hours. If there's no redness, itching, stinging, or other signs of irritation, it's likely safe for broader use. This cautious approach ensures you harness olive oil's benefits without encountering adverse reactions.
From the grove to the glow of healthy skin, we've covered a vast amount of ground today. And now let's step back and look at the broader picture. The global economic and consumption patterns of olive oil. It's truly a significant player on the world stage, with trends that impact everything from international trade to the prices we see in our local stores.
That's right. The International Olive Council, IOC, as the intergovernmental organization uniting olive oil stakeholders, provides concrete data and crucial contextual insights into this global landscape. These trends directly influence availability, pricing, and ultimately consumer choices. Looking at global consumption trends, we see a promising recovery projected. For the upcoming 2024-25 crop year, global olive oil consumption is expected to exceed 3 million tons. That represents a significant 10.0% increase compared to the previous crop year, 2023-24, which saw some declines. Table olive consumption, that's olives for eating, not oil, is also estimated to reach similar impressive figures, showing a growing appetite for all olive products.
So demand is generally going up.
Globally, yes, after a dip. However, a notable shift has occurred within the European Union. While global consumption has nearly doubled since the 1990-91 crop year, the EU, historically the largest consumer, has actually significantly reduced its share of total consumption. It dropped from over 70% back in 2004-05 to around 45% in recent crop years.
Really, Europeans are using less.
As a percentage of global consumption, yes. This decline in EU consumption, interestingly, has been largely offset by increased consumption in non-IOC member countries and other IOC member countries. It demonstrates a truly global expansion of olive oil's reach and popularity. It's no longer just a Mediterranean staple. Some of these increases in table olive consumption have been particularly dramatic from 1991 to 2023-24. Egypt, for example, saw an incredible surge from 11,000 tons to 520,000 tons.
Wow.
Algeria experienced robust growth from 14,000 tons to 285,000 tons, and Turkey increased from 110,000 tons to 350,000 tons. These figures highlight a shifting global palette and growing appreciation for olive products far beyond their traditional Mediterranean strongholds.
Interesting shifts. How does this affect prices? We've heard prices have been crazy high lately.
They have been. These global shifts in supply and demand, alongside crucial environmental factors like drought, directly translate into significant price dynamics, profoundly impacting you as a consumer. Let's look at the prices of extra virgin olive oil at the mill during the third week of January 2025. In Jaén, Spain, a major producing region, prices were 442 per 100 kilograms. That represents a substantial decrease of 50.7% compared to the same week of the previous crop year.
A big drop in Spain. That's good news.
It indicates some market correction or perhaps an improved harvest there, yeah. But in Bari, Italy, prices stood at €950 per 100 kilograms, only a slight decrease of 1.9%. These figures are volatile and constantly changing, reflecting dynamic market conditions. Turning to extra EU olive oil exports in November of the 2024-25 crop year, the average unit value for all olive oil exports was $845 per 100 kilograms. This was an increase of 1.9% compared to the same period in the previous crop year, but a decrease of 4.4% from the previous month, illustrating short-term fluctuations. Specifically for extra virgin olive oil, the unit value was $884 per 100 kilograms. The unit value index of exports has actually shown a declining trend for 8 consecutive months, with a 4.9% decrease in November compared to October. This suggests a broader downward pressure on prices from the earlier highs.
So prices might be starting to come down from the peak.
It seems there's a trend that way, but it's complex. On the import side, major markets collectively saw a 6% decrease in olive oil imports between October and November 2024 compared to the same period of the previous crop year. For consumers within the EU27, the Harmonized Consumer Price Index for olive oil increased by 1.5% in December compared to the previous year, although it has been on a declining trend since April 2024. However, these are averages, and significant country-specific variations were observed. Bulgaria and Slovakia saw large price increases, while France and Romania experienced declines.
So it really depends where you are.
Absolutely. The relevance to consumers is clear. These price and market fluctuations are profoundly influenced by factors like global olive harvests and droughts, leading to scarcity or abundance and dramatic price changes. This, as we discussed earlier, can impact your purchasing decisions and even your trust in product authenticity, especially when prices soar. Staying informed about these global trends is key to understanding the market and making intelligent choices.
And that brings us to the end of another truly fascinating deep dive. We really traversed the entire world of olive oil today. From the intricate journey of the olive from fruit to bottle, to the critical factors that help us discern true quality against a sea of options. We've uncovered its profound and scientifically backed health benefits, debunked some persistent cooking myths, and even explored its versatile applications both in and out of the kitchen, including surprisingly effective skincare uses. There are definitely some aha moments and surprising facts that challenge common assumptions about this everyday staple. Hopefully they empower you to make more informed choices.
Absolutely. You now have the knowledge to select, use, and appreciate olive oil in a whole new way, understanding not just what it is, but why it matters. From its polyphenols protecting your heart, to its oxidative stability enabling confident cooking, and its role in immune modulation. This raises an important question for you to ponder. Considering olive oil's ancient status as both food and medicine, its current global market volatility due to climate, and the ongoing scientific discoveries of its complex benefits. How might our collective choices about sustainability, transparency, and traditional practices today shape the very future, and perhaps even the genetic diversity of the olive tree and its golden fruit for generations to come?
A truly thought-provoking question for us all to consider. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you'll apply your newfound knowledge the next time you reach for that bottle of olive oil. Until next time, stay curious.